Hi, and welcome to Food News and Chews with Chef Jeremy Ashby and Sylvia Lovely. Jeremy, what's going on today?
That's right. On this episode, we've got the top 10 food news items of 2012. We're going to be going over those. We've got a great interview with First Lady Jane Beshear.
Oh, and the mansion is it's beautiful.
A little bit on the local food movement. We've also got a holiday recipe from the mansion, the First Lady's favorite holiday recipe. It's a dessert. I can't wait to make it for you.
Welcome to Kentucky's largest commercial restaurant equipment and supply store. Seaworth Superstore is a 15,000 square foot chef's treasure chest.
Seaworth Superstore is the store for those in the restaurant industry, churches, and catering. Find chefware, large equipment, refrigeration unit, about anything needed for a volume event. Seaworth Superstore, in business since 1954, offering free local delivery, so come on in and get hooked immediately.
And a complete line of chef apparel. Seaworth Superstore, located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Hey, Jeremy.
Yes.
Guess what time of year it is?
It's the tally time, right?
Yeah,
That's
all the top stories and the top foods stories of the year.
It's been a big year for food and lots of controversial stuff.
Yeah, well, let me tell you though, let me tell you first of all, that we have had the results tabulated and the votes are in, and by a major account, no, wait a minute.
That's right.
We're Foodington Toast.
That's right.
We don't need that.
So we've tallied up our own.
We have tabulated our own of the top stories. Now, we're Foodington Toast. Start us off, Jeremy. What are what would you say the couple of top stories of the year?
You know, the things I think were most interesting this year had to be the Farm Bill and also, like the whole drought issue. It's been a record drought, since the biggest one, since like the early 80s.
And supposed to continue on. And then what are the ramifications of the drought?
Well, the economic ramifications, just we haven't even begun to see them. We're actually just now starting to see the grain prices rise, meat prices rising, all the commodities are going up, and just the effect on the market is huge.
And food prices.
Food prices are huge.
They've been having drought auctions of animals. I mean,
right,
it's really
they can't afford to even feed the animals now. And then the Farm Bill, and that's way over my head. That's policy stuff. That's your side.
Yeah, well, the Farm Bill is very interesting, folks, and this really is serious stuff. Right now, they're talking about making it part of deficit reduction because it's got a couple of things in it. One, it does away with some subsidies for big farms, but it replaces those with crop insurance. But the bigger piece is that actually included in the Farm Bill are food stamps.
Now, how did food stamps get included into a Farm Bill?
Well, that's probably political, and we probably couldn't unravel that if we tried, or they'd kill us if they ever told us.
So are they going to get rid of food stamps?
Well, they're going to cut back substantially, and that's a serious issue because of the recession. People don't have food right now, and so food stamps are the big thing, and we don't know historically other than they're tied to food.
Right.
They mean food. So what else is going on out there?
Well, remember the pink slime? that was a big news topic also.
Yeah.
Pink slime entered the news, and lo and behold, 2 weeks later the company got shut down. Remember, pink slime is an additive. It's an ammonia-based additive they add to meat to tumble out the rest of the fat and all the sinew from the bones, and you get a lot more product out of your.
But we don't even know if it's bad. Even Marion Nestle said it isn't. 700 people lost their jobs in Texas.
That's right, and it's long. And actually, they say a lot of the price increases in meat right now is because we no longer have pink slime.
That's right.
So make your own judgments on that one.
Yeah. But what a terrible name.
Yeah, pink slime will shut down anybody, right?
And what else? What else?
Well, GMOs have been a big topic this year. We've talked about it on our show a whole lot, but also the whole idea of the crops are changing once again. Nature finds a way, bugs find a way. So
bugs are outsmarting us. That was in that article in the Minneapolis Star. Tribune Star was about the bugs are outsmarting us because they get smart and they figure out, hey, I can get around that Roundup stuff.
So the Roundup spray isn't working anymore, so reformulate the vegetables. That just seems to be the whole world of food now is frankenfood or GMOs. It's kind of scary. A lot of it's just selective breeding, but sometimes there is that whole cross-splicing thing going on that kind of gets a little bit unnatural.
And it sometimes is about having a prettier tomato when you're looking at tomatoes. How about bacon? Bacon going on.
The biggest news for 2012 in bacon was there's a bacon shortage. And that's a big issue for guys like me. I love bacon. I love anything pork, All
right. Paula Deen and diabetes cover up.
That's right, Paula Deen.
And Mayor Bloomberg and Nannygate.
Yes, Mayor Bloomberg put a legislation on the amount of, or the size of sodas you could have, which is a big move, in terms of I guess,
he started
awareness.
a conversation, didn't he?
Yeah, it's awareness. Started conversation.
And how about the death of the Twinkie?
The death of, Twinkies are gone, and also Chick-fil-A.
Yeah,
making a big
gay chickens? Is that about?
Right.
No, it was about Chick-fil-A. Okay,
no, exactly.
Whatever. All right. Well, and then we have a final story coming up, don't we?
I think there's something on Blowtorch Ashby.
Yeah, just because you thought you could torch a ham in a previous show for that glaze that everybody wants, then you had to turn on me. Okay?
So you burnt me first, and I just had to get payback. I think it was a prop malfunction. I didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, right.
You look great though.
Yep. Well, look, you really took care of me. Hey, Ashby, I want to do something for you.
What's that?
I'm going to get this monogrammed. But I might torch you. Remember, I tried to do your finger the other day. But anyway, and you paid me back. So I'm going to give you one of these as I'm going to monogram this.
This
and you
is
can
my
find this
Food News Oscar for the year,
There you
right?
go. That's the top news story of the year, folks. Look at me.
Yes.
All right?
Blowtorch Sylvia.
Ashby. Yeah. Hey, we'll be right back with the First Lady. And you're listening to Coach Chef. You have on a chef's coat. Never mind, my brain is singed too. We'll be back with the First Lady after this break.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Jeremy, the restaurant startup business is challenging. We should know.
That's right. In business since 1954, AZUR Superstore is the place to begin. Reconditioned equipment and the lease-to-purchase program can get you in and going in no time.
Seaworth, with its dedicated staff, can help you plan with CAD services that provide a successful layout.
Dan and his team will help you fill in the blanks with everything from soft drink machines to exhaust hoods. Come to Seaworth Superstore and make your dreams come true.
Located at 1403 Versailles Road and SeaworthSuperstore.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
Today's shoppers are informed. When shopping for the family meal, today's shopper chooses Critchfield Meats for fresh, all-natural quality meats, guaranteed. Make the right choice and visit our family before you feed yours. Critchfield Meats, the meat specialist, family owned and operated since 1969. That's a grade A choice, folks.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
When I get things in the kitchen, I can tell like right off the bat. After I get done searing it or put it on the grill or roasting it or baking it or frying it or whatever I'm going to do, the second I cut into that thing, whether it's the resistance on the fork or just the way it kind of slides across the knife, it's got to be right on from the get-go. And it seems like this beef does that every single time.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Welcome to Food News and Chews. Jeremy, we're here with a very special guest in a very special place. First Lady Jane Beshear, thank you for being with us in a busy holiday season.
Delighted.
But Jeremy and I do anything to get in here and see all of this.
Spectacular in the candy stripe room. It's a beautiful setting.
Oh, it is.
So glad to be talking to you. Well, you know, our show, we mostly talk a lot about local food and what's happening with Kentucky agriculture. And we wanted to start out by asking you what your involvement is with the local food movement here in Kentucky. There's things that are striving and growing, and farmers are really producing a lot of stuff. We want to hear what your views are on.
Well, when Steve was elected, I made the commitment that while we are living here in the mansion, and we do the same thing at home, that we would make use of local food, and that it was very important, not only from the fact that Kentucky is an agricultural state, but that from the health standpoint, that we needed to make sure that we were providing in the meals with the guests that we have here both the healthiest and tastiest foods we can, and that certainly comes from our local farmers.
You know, health is such an issue in Kentucky, too. We have, unfortunately, many of the highest rates of things we don't want to have rates in. So food actually figures prominently into all of this, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think one of the keys to better health is how we eat. You look at today's population, and with fast foods and those types of opportunities that are there, you see we're becoming more and more obese. If you look at our parents, our grandparents, or great-grandparents, you will see a generation of people that were not that way. And part of it was because they always ate from the land, right? Usually their own farm or even in their own backyard. I remember growing up, and we always had a huge garden in our yard. So I think it's very important for people to, number one, know where their food comes from. And this day and time, where every day on the news we hear something else about a food that's been contaminated from one
fish most recently.
Fish. We've had eggs, we've had chickens, we've had cantaloupes, we've had so many different things like that. If you know your local farmer, then you have a better chance of not ever ending up in the situation where you have a produce of one kind or another, or a meat that might make your family ill.
And not only does it taste better, but also you get to kind of, you don't worry about the economic effects or the carbon trails from shipping food in. It kind of gives you kind of a self-sustainable food system to where your money stays in the local economy as well when you're buying local from farmers.
Yeah, and what about, there's a garden, don't you have some involvement with a garden itself?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Well, we started probably about 5 years ago, I guess, a governor's garden, the idea of the governor's garden. It actually came, the idea was a seed that was planted from a friend who said, you know, the White House does a garden and they're emphasizing healthy eating. You know, why shouldn't Kentucky do that? So we decided that we would develop a program that we call the Governor's Gardens, and we did it so that it could be a model for anyone in the state. It's small enough, it can go in your backyard. You can actually reduce the size and do it in containers or a patio garden.
Yeah, we've talked some about that.
But to be able to walk out your back door and pick your tomatoes and eat them for dinner that night, incredible.
Even if it's a small act.
Right. Anything.
Right.
You can grow tomatoes in a pot on your back porch.
We encourage people to get dirty in get their hands dirty in any form you can, whether it's just maybe some basil or just a tomato plant. Right. Actually getting your hands into the movement and kind of, getting one with the land, it kind of gets you connected again and you get to taste the difference. And I think your body kind of craves it after a while. When you get the nutrients, when you start eating that way, it becomes just something your body wants more and more of.
We've also encouraged with this is that it's an opportunity for your family to do something together.
Oh, that's real important.
And our children, and speaking of health, our children so many times are inside doing their games and those kinds of things. This is a way that the family can do something together outside, getting their hands dirty. But also the lesson of planting those seeds, watching them grow, harvesting them, and eating them, and then the health that comes is the benefit for everyone.
Yeah, you've talked a lot about getting involved. How can they find out? How can consumers there's a lot of confusion out there. People don't know organic from natural, from conventional, and what does all that mean?
A lot of questions are asked about the difference between the two.
Yeah. And all of those things. So how could people even do a simple act like find out more about the garden, all of those kinds of things?
Well, of course, for a regular garden, you can go to the University of Kentucky agricultural website that they have on gardens, but our county extension agents have all the information.
That's true, and I think probably underutilized.
Absolutely. And then for ours, we have the information on the website, on the First Lady's website, and the Governor's Office of Ag Policy also has information on the Governor's Garden. So it gives a model on what you can do. We also talk about the different things that you can plant depending upon the season, and how to make it easy. Most of ours are no-till.
Yeah. Okay.
We try.
That means you don't need a.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't.
That would be important for people like me.
You're not leaving a carbon footprint because you're not using something that is burning fuel in the air.
Using your hands and all of that kind of stuff. So they could go to the website and they can find out more about it, and that's tremendous information.
That's right, and it's holiday time too, and I know that the staff here at the Governor's Mansion and Ann Evans, they do a great job utilizing local foods here at the mansion, and they actually gave me a little secret, said they gave me the recipe for your favorite holiday dessert.
Yes.
And so what I did was actually make...
Oh, Jeremy, what's this called?
This is called a peppermint bombe.
By the way, I ate about 3 of those yesterday.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's
he wanted to test them out, Well, somebody had to be the taste tester.
I rationalize sometimes because I am very adamant about eating healthy, and so chocolate is very good for you.
That's right.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
And there's a bit of a milk product in here too, so that too is healthy.
That's right.
Well, it was really fun to make, a great recipe. We actually got to use a few local ingredients in there, some local dairy, and also, we had a lot of fun with it. It's a peppermint cake with a peppermint bark ice cream inside.
Yummy.
Chocolate ganache. We're going to teach you guys how to make it.
Tasting it.
On our next segment, we wanted you guys to give it a try and see how we did, and see if we did a good job with it.
Yeah. You want to break into that?
Sure.
Let's see. I don't, it's let's see what we can do here.
And it's still probably a little frozen for the ice cream cake. So.
It is.
But you know what? You get the best part here.
I got it.
You get the chocolate. She got a little of that.
Wonderful.
Oh, doesn't that look good?
Do I get to taste?
Yes.
Please do.
You look like you never eat anything that has any calories in it, so I'm glad to see somebody do that. So what do you think?
Oh. It is exquisite.
Good. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad I got to cook for you.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Your favorite recipe. And say it again, and we'll have this
It's the
recipe
peppermint
posted.
bombe. We're going to be showing this to you in the next segment, so stay tuned to Food News and Chews for this recipe.
Yeah, we'll have a great time, and we've been just enthralled with being in this beautiful mansion today.
Why do chefs choose Lyons Farm beef?
It's consistent, it's delicious, it's got great tenderness, and it's really good for you. This nutritional element of making healthy animals for healthy eating is a big component about why their beef is so delicious. I feel so lucky to be a chef in Kentucky because the best way to express care for someone is to make them something to eat, and I get to do that every single day.
Lyons Farm beef, available at Critchfield Meats and LyonsFarm.com.
Here's a way to give 2 holiday gifts for the price of 1. Serve food that's prepared with ingredients made or grown in Kentucky. We call it Kentucky Proud, and that's your assurance of quality. When you buy Kentucky Proud, you also brighten the holidays for a Kentucky farm family. Find gift and recipe ideas at KentuckyProud.com. Kentucky Proud is funded in part by the Kentucky Agricultural Development Fund and is a program of the Kentucky Department of Agriculture. James R. Comer, Commissioner.
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.
Welcome back to Food News and Chews. We've just been hearing from the First Lady, and we were in the mansion. It was so awesome. By the way, do you like my big nutcrackers?
That is one loud nutcracker sweater, Sylvia. Anyway, the First Lady has a favorite holiday recipe, and it's called a peppermint bombe.
Bombe, as in French.
Yeah, bombe. Around here we call it bombe. But anyway, it's a great little peppermint flavored dessert.
These ingredients.
And what I've done is we're going to post this recipe.
For holiday.
It's great for holiday, especially Christmas. We posted this recipe online at foodnewsandchews.com so you guys can follow along with us. But anyway, we've got this seasonal peppermint bark that you can find in candy shops, and it's like a white chocolate peppermint with a nice dark chocolate, right? So what I've done away from me is whip that with some nice vanilla ice cream. So you see all the colors and the chocolate broken up in there.
Okay.
So you've got a peppermint ice cream or peppermint bark ice cream, and then
you can probably buy that in a grocery store in a box, right?
Right.
Yeah, already made up.
So I've also got a jelly roll cake, a nice little cake you would bake, and usually you'd spread some icing in it, roll it up like a jelly roll for holidays, right?
Sure.
So make the same one, but all you're going to do is use a little round cutter and cut out a portion.
Which again, you could find anywhere.
You can find these anywhere. Now what I like about this is for holidays, they're super cute, and they're individual portions that, it's really neat. If you want to do something elegant, elegant for your friends,
party.
You can do that, right? So we've got the peppermint bark ice cream, which is delicious.
Yes, I'd like a big bite of that.
It's softened to where you can kind of move it.
Yeah.
And I've got these little molds wrapped in saran wrap. So you
or they can use a cup or anything.
Yeah, cup. Just make sure you put saran in it so it's easier to get out. So all you got to do is press that ice cream into the little molds, or maybe a little Dixie cup or something simple. I usually will take that now and put the cake on top, and it allows it to kind of soak in, and that ice cream kind of goes into the cake a little bit. I'll put them over top like this and into the freezer, and the freezer will help them reset. So if we skip forward and use the magic of TV kind of thing, you can use the saran wrap to kind of pull the top right off, okay?
Oh man, that looks good.
So it's like a big ball of ice cream on top of a piece of cake. Now the recipe also calls for a nice ganache which you can easily take and
good
just
old chocolate
once it gets to
sauce.
room temperature,
Yeah.
it glazes the top.
That
See,
looks
I just
delicious.
kinda-
How'd you do your chocolate? I mean, how do you do that?
You want to melt this with a little bit of cream and a little bit of corn syrup.
Cream and corn syrup.
And that'll kinda let it-
What do you put in it? Just the
You just
a
melt
chocolate
it.
bar?
Yeah, just a bar of nice chocolate, 6 ounces or so, and then you just spread the ganache on top. So once you get all your sides coated, you can do a little better
That
job.
looks so good.
You can go right into the freezer. And at the freezer, you need to let it set for a good hour
Oh,
so
that
it's a
smells
nice
so
shell.
good. Oh, chocolate. All right, so now what?
So the Bombe
By the way,
or bomb is
I'm
set
gonna
up in the
taste it.
freezer, and you can take it off that wire rack and put it on your plate. And just some ideas for nice presentations. What I wanted to do with this was add something a little bit crispy.
Ah,
you
how
could,
sweet.
You could poke that in there. Some more of that bark.
Well.
Which you just drop all over the floor. But more of the
I'll eat
peppermint
it off
bark
the floor. It's
is
so
nice
good.
on top, right? Into your bomb. Okay. And then
Presentation, how sweet.
I've got this little like strawberry rhubarb sauce.
Oh, man.
Look at that kind of falling apart.
Behave,
Yep.
or I'll eat you.
So strawberry rhubarb sauce, because this gives the red
Strawberry
here.
rhubarb sauce. Do you
Gives
tell
you
people
like
how to make
a
that?
little bit of like that peppermint look.
Can
the
I just,
red
like-
peppermint? No, no fingers. Here's the marshmallow. This is like a marshmallow sauce. I think
Yeah.
will give you the white
Oh,
effect
now
from the
nice.
peppermint. Right? And I love marshmallow and chocolate together.
Oh, First Lady Beshear's gonna love
And then let's
this.
just do like a little bit of chocolate here and there just to kind of give it some nice little
Give it personality.
personality, right?
Yeah.
Garnish with a little bit of mint.
Okay.
And you've got the First Lady's favorite holiday dessert.
How beautiful. Ah.
And inside you've got that
nice.
nice ice cream and the chocolate cake and nice hard chocolate shell.
And you're gonna post this.
Yes, we'll post the recipe for you guys to use. It's really not that hard. It's a lot of fun for a lot of, we have a lot of guests. They can each have an individual portion.
I love that
Tastes great.
idea. That is so good, and they won't have to fight over it. They'll have their own. So we'll be back next week, though, and we've enjoyed being with you today. And this, what's it called again?
It's actually a peppermint bark bomb.
All right, and it's going to be posted on the website. Tell us what that is again.
Foodnewsandchews.com.
There you go. We'll see you next week. Good to be with you. Have a great week and a holiday week. How fun!
Advertise your product or service on shows like this one. Contact Media 7 Broadcasting today. Call 859-317-4565 or email sales@m7bg.com. Reach potential new customers in the Louisville, Lexington, and other Central Kentucky areas. Get your new ad produced for free by Media 7's audio and video professionals. Call 859-317-4565 today and let Media 7 create a marketing plan for you.
A European experience without leaving Lexington at AZUR Restaurant and Patio. For lunch or dinner, enjoy excellent service and truly unique cuisine that will delight your senses. Unwind with award-winning cocktails or conduct business over a memorable meal. Every occasion is special at AZUR Restaurant and Patio, located off Harrisburg Road in the Beaumont Center.